Strengthening civil society engagement in ADB operations. How does ADB engage with CSOs at policy, country programming, and project levels? Under Strategy 2030, ADB's long-term corporate strategy, ADB will sustain its efforts to eradicate extreme poverty and expand its vision to achieve a prosperous, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable Asia and the Pacific, aligned with major global commitments. Strategy 2030 highlights ADB's commitment to strengthening collaboration with civil society organizations, or CSOs, because of their unique strengths, specialized knowledge, and local presence. Under Strategy 2030, ADB will explore opportunities to increase the involvement of CSOs in the design and implementation of projects it supports. In particular, ADB will focus on operations that use grassroots participatory approaches to target the poor and vulnerable groups, mobilize women and young people, and monitor project activities and outputs. ADB will also seek inputs and advice from CSOs on the review of major ADB policies. What are civil society organizations? ADB defines CSOs as nonprofit organizations independent from the government, which operate around common interests. They vary in size, interests, and function, and include non-government organizations, or NGOs, youth groups, community-based organizations, independent academic and research institutes, professional associations, foundations, faith-based organizations, people's organizations, and labor unions. CSOs represent interests of their members or others. In 2020 and 2021, ADB took several steps to strengthen its collaboration with CSOs. In 2021, ADB updated key operational policy documents on engaging with CSOs and provided ADB staff and officials of developing member countries with a comprehensive toolkit on the many ways that CSOs can participate in ADB operations. The bank also updated its CSO engagement indicator in its corporate results framework to measure planned CSO engagement against delivered CSO engagement to ensure that CSOs are meaningfully engaged during project implementation. So, how does ADB engage with CSOs during policy formulation and review, country programming, and throughout the project cycle? Policy formulation and review. ADB's policy development and policy reviews provide significant scope for CSO engagement. ADB seeks CSO input and advice on major policy and strategy papers. For example, ADB teams organized a series of dialogues with CSOs for the recent review of its energy policy. Country programming and formulating country partnership strategies. Country partnership strategies, or CPS, are ADB's primary platform for designing operations to deliver development results at the country level. ADB staff work with key government officials to facilitate the engagement of CSOs during CPS preparation. Supporting ADB financed projects. CSOs are also involved throughout the project cycle in ADB financed projects, including in the design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation stages. During project design, for example, CSOs sometimes support ADB in organizing consultations with communities or target beneficiary groups, or as consultants to provide technical inputs. CSOs may also be tapped during implementation to deliver certain components of a project, such as in constructing local small-scale irrigation systems in a large irrigation infrastructure project, or assisting to implement an ADB Finance project's Gender Action Plan or Resettlement Plan. Collaborating with CSOs and tapping their unique strengths contribute to enhancing the delivery of ADB's programs and projects and guide us jointly along the path toward a prosperous, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable Asia and the Pacific. To find out more, visit the ADB and Civil Society page and follow us on social media for updates.